Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we are going to talk about Avatar. Nope, not the one with the benders. Nope, not the one with blue people. The BTAS episode of Batman the Animated Series called Avatar. Sorry, I couldn't resist with that one. Anyway, welcome back to Year of the Batman. Today we're talking about that. So yeah. So the opening scene I found pretty interesting. There was no dialogue whatsoever. It was just music and visuals, and it's essentially back in like the late 1800s. There was a expedition team trying to look through this tomb, and one of the explorers was going down there, but it doesn't show anything. But all you can just know is just there's chaos going on, and they pull the rope back up, and they just see the rope is like blackened, like it was burned off, and the man is nowhere to be seen. So they all just flee the scene, and that's the end of it. Which it ends very abruptly. It's just like, what was there? Did they go back and get the man? What happened to the man? And we do not find out. So then goes to the present day. Bruce Wayne and Lucius, they're in the Gotham City Museum, and Bruce is curating like a big Egyptian collection, including I think they called it the Scroll of Isis, something like essentially like the world's oldest Egyptian writing. So super big deal. And I haven't really talked about this before, but I just don't like the idea of Lucius not knowing who Batman is. I don't know, like Lucius is a really smart, really dependable guy, so I don't know how Batman didn't tell him, especially with them being like so involved with Wayne Enterprise and Wayne Tech. And just like you think somebody that smart would notice a misappropriation of funds and whatnot, but I don't know. It's just me. I like when Lucius is on the scene. I think he's a great character. I really like him, obviously, in the Dark Knight trilogy. I really like him in the Telltale series. Like I like Lucius, so I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, so it's later in the evening, and then some guy is attempting to steal the scroll, but Batman was there because I guess he had like a third sense. He's like, all right, the city doesn't need any saving tonight. Tonight I gotta protect this papyrus. So he takes down the guy, and it turns out to be Obo or Ubu, the helper for Ra's al Ghul. So Ra's is there, and he's like, Batman, it's good to see you. Surprise! And he throws a fucking like cobra at him, and the cobra bites Batman. It's funny. He catches the snake, and there's like a few good seconds where the snake is like like here's the snake, and then here's my hand. So like the snake is like his head is free to move around, so he obviously bites Batman. And I'm like, Batman, if I caught a fucking snake, I would slam that motherfucker to the ground or throw it away. I wouldn't just keep holding the snake. Um, so that's how Raish escapes with the paper and Ubu as well. He takes an antidote, so he's all good. So he gets back to the Batcave, and him and Alfred are talking. He's like, "What the hell did he want with half the scroll? Because it's only half of it that they have." And he's like, "I don't know, but if Raish wants it, that thing's important. So I'm gonna make a call real quick, or well, a house call." So he goes to I can't even remember the name. It's somewhere in Spain though, or part of Africa, like the part where they like are almost together. I don't know if it was the Spain side or the Africa side. In that general vicinity, doesn't really matter. He goes to see Talia. He's like, "Hey, Talia, your dad's alive, and he's trying to go after whatever the fuck is on that scroll." And she's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know he was alive. What a dick." I would have liked to know my dad was okay. And Bruce's like, I don't know what to tell you, but I gotta find him. You want to come with me?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So she's like, "Well, there's a secret base in Cairo. He might be using that." So they go to Cairo. Turns out there was the secret base there, um, which they they get to the secret base, and then the scroll is just left out. And I'm just thinking, well, that's too easy. And obviously it was, because Race was there just waiting, and a glass box just falls on Bruce and Talia. And I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, how long were they waiting? Like, were like Raish and Ubu like playing like Chinese checkers or something because I mean there's really no way to know when they're gonna get there. I don't know, just stuff like that I find amusing. Um, but anyway, they know that the scroll is completed now because Batman looked at it, and somehow I don't know, Raish had the other half. Um, I mean, I guess it makes sense. He's been around a fucking while. He's like, I think he said 900 years old, maybe 600. So it's whatever. Would have liked a little explanation, but it's fine, I guess. Um, so Batman, he uses some kind of device, like some kind of sonic device, to shatter the glass once Obo and Raish leave. And Batman, he memorized the scroll really quickly, and he gets the spot before them, like where the tomb is, but it doesn't really matter. Like, literally a minute later, when they get to the sarcophagus, Raish, Obo, and then the two thugs are like, hey, we're here. We're just running a little late. Um, so he opens up the tomb, Raish does, because all guns are pointed on Talia and Bruce, and they just like crumble to dust. Like, it's literally worthless. So Bruce takes this opportunity with him like being such distress. He's like, "All right, Talia, we gotta get the fuck out of here." So him and Talia run away, and they take out Ubu and the two other henchmen, which he drops like a 10 foot tall stone statue on the two henchmen. I'm like, Batman, you just killed them. I don't care what like the cartoon says. Like they jumped out of the way. Like I mean, you see it literally just go smack on the back of their shoulders. I'm like, they're dead. They did not get knocked out of the way. They got crushed. They're dead. So Ray, she's in distress, and he's like, literally by like dumb luck, he touches like the wrong corner of the sarcophagus, and a secret passageway opens up. And you get down there. I don't really know how else to explain. It looks exactly like a Lazarus pit, except there's like bodies of soldiers all around it. So Raish, he dons a sword, and he like approaches, and he sees in like the pit. I really don't know what else it was. It's like a Lazarus pit, but more so slimy, like kind of like the material Clayface is made out of, but green. But it. I swear, it's like a corrupted Lazarus pit. They don't explain it, but that's how it feels like. So he sees emerge from I, I don't know how to say it, the corrupted Lazarus pit, like this beautiful Egyptian goddess, and she's like, "Hey, I'll give you my secrets and whatnot, but you got to join us." Which that's the reason why Race is after him, because apparently this queen had ruled Egypt for like 1,000 years, and people would like answer to her whim like that, like essentially really powerful immortal ruler, just kind of like Raish, and he wants to learn her secrets to be just as powerful. So he lets his boner get the best of him, and he approaches her, drops the sword, and then those two start kissing. And it's really weird. You think it'd be the other way around. So he starts, like, I guess getting his soul sucked out of him, and he like turns into an old man, and then she also turns into like an old woman. Like she looks kind of like an Egyptian mummy version of Yzma from the Emperor's New Groove. And you think it'd be like the other way around. Like you think she'd be like this grotesque monster, and then when she like sucks up a soul, she'd be like young and beautiful again. But it's like the reverse. So Batman and Bruce, Batman and Talia, they come in. They're like, "What the hell?" And she's like. And so Batman, he uses his grappling hook to get Raish out, and then Talia gets like grabbed by literally, I don't have to say slime demons. Imagine Slimer from Ghostbusters. And if Clayface had a baby, that would be what her little henchmen look like. So they try and take Talia from Bruce, but Bruce uses the same sword to like cut it open. And Bruce is like, "All right, this is too weird for me. We gotta get the fuck out of here." So that is also why I'm saying it is a corrupted Lazarus pit, because it's like the same color, and it would explain how she has lived that long. that to me is my headcanon. It's just a corrupted, overused Lazarus pit. I don't know if that's right or not, but to me, that's what makes the most sense. So anyway, they're trying to get out. Bruce says, "Talia, take your dad. We gotta get the fuck out of here." So they go up a staircase, and then the goop monsters are trying to chase after him. And then Batman, he goes up like 30 feet to push down this like huge ass statue. I mean, it's literally a stone statue that's like 30 feet in the air. He climbs the statue and then uses his full body force to push it over. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Batman. You had a sedated Killer Croc moving a tree, and your human ass is moving like a 30-foot stone statue. Like, at this point, I refuse to believe Batman is not on steroids of some sort, or he doesn't have superpowers, because holy shit, you can say leverage or whatever, but like, I don't know. I don't know how the fuck he did that. But anyway, he pushes the statue down and blocking the way of like the slime demons or whatever, and then the whole thing is collapsing. And Raish and Talia get out of there, and then Batman he like zooms by the two henchmen and Ubu, and then they're all three running now. So the henchmen get out of there, and Ubu he like trips and he almost gets crushed by rocks when like Batman he like pulls him out of the way, which is a nice moment because they're so like kind of anti against each other. Like Ubu call him an infidel and then like taking shots at each other whenever. But it was kind of a neat moment to be like, oh man, that's just the kind of person that Batman is. Like he will save even shitty people's lives. So they're all free. Raish is like, Talia, sorry for being kind of a dick, not letting you know I was alive and going after the mummy. That was kind of uncool to me. And Talia's like, hey, Batman, what are you gonna do with my dad? Because at this point, everybody is like, except for Batman and Talia, they're like tied up by their hands to like the saddles of the camels they're riding, or no, horses that they're riding. Um, and Batman's like, well, considering your father has been a criminal pretty much his entire life and killed countless amount of people, yeah, I'm gonna take him to jail. And Talia's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna let you do that. So she pulls a gun on him. And keep in mind, they're in the middle of the fucking desert. And she's like, yeah, if you could just get off your horse, that would be great. So Batman does, and they all just like ride off. And there's this really, really nice moment where Ubu, he stops following them for a moment, looks at Batman, and as like a sign of respect, he throws a canteen of water to him. And it's just like, God damn, not even Talia, the beloved of Batman, will do that, but fucking Ubu will. Like, it's just like that small stuff that I really, really like in the show. They didn't have to add Ubu almost getting crushed or Ubu being the one to give him the water. They could have easily had Talia be the one to give him water. But I don't know, just like those small little character moments that I do find myself enjoying so much in this series. But rating wise, I don't know. This was a weird fucking episode. I just wish a little bit more of explanation would have made this go a long way. Like, I literally have to create my own headcanon to even explain what happened in this episode, which is kind of annoying. I don't think the show should hold my hand, but at the same time, you can't be like, here's this mummy ghost that has existed for thousands of years who happens to have these slime monsters. I feel like cases like that deserve a little explanation, but that's just me. And then Talia being a freaking kiss ass to her father at the end. I'm like, in every possible way, Batman is right. Your dad does deserve to be taken in, but whatever. So rating wise, God, the Ubu stuff's really good. I really want to bump that up, but like a lot of the lore in this episode is really skipped over, and they don't even say the word Avatar at all in this episode, which is really weird. I'm not really quite sure why the episode was called that. Who knows? Maybe Avatar means like another thing that I just can't really think of myself at the moment, or just don't know. I'm trying to think. It wasn't a bad episode by any means. So I'm not three and below is out of the question. Seven's definitely out of the question. Same as six. So I'm debating between 4 and 5. I think 4 just solely because it's just a right down the middle episode, and I really wish they would have explained just a little bit more. Just a smidge more would have been so helpful to understand. For me, I don't know. It's just a corrupted Lazarus pit. That's how she was immortal. I don't know. I'm solely basing the fact of that's how she lived so long, and it was also green like the Lazarus pit. But I might be just like pulling it. Is it pulling its strings? The term I can't remember. Whatever. 4 out of 7. Fine episode. Bye bye.